Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, welcome. My name is Mandy and I'm here to do a little bit of a different top 5 foundation video. The last top 5 foundation video that I can remember filming was over a year ago. It was in June of 2024, and that one was my top 5 favorite liquid foundation. I will put that up in a card because it is still very relevant to my favorites. I still love every single foundation that I talked about in that video. I have 2 from that video that have come over to this one. The difference between that video and this video is that I am not just doing liquid foundations. I'm not just doing foundations versus skin tints because I've done some favorite skin tint videos before. I am picking my favorite at the moment. This is not of all time, but at the moment, my favorite in pretty much every category that I own. So I'm gonna do a favorite tinted moisturizer, a favorite skin tint, a favorite cushion foundation, a favorite liquid foundation, and a favorite powder foundation. So without further ado, let's jump in. For reference, I am 44 years old. I have normal to dry skin, and I do prefer a more natural, velvety finish versus overly luminous. I can achieve that finish with powder. So it doesn't necessarily mean that if something's overly dewy by itself, that I'm not gonna like it. But I do tend to gravitate towards the lesser of the luminous formulas. So I'm gonna go from least amount of coverage to most amount of coverage. And I'm gonna start out with my favorite tinted moisturizer, which probably is no surprise because I haven't been able to stop talking about it lately. And it's the Jones Road Just Enough Tinted Moisturizer. This is definitely the least coverage out of all the ones I'm gonna talk about. It is very sheer to possibly light. If I need more coverage when I use this, I like to use the face pencils from Jones Road, which I showed how I do that in the video where I use this, explained how I like to use it. But I also love it by itself, especially on days where my redness is not as pronounced. It does have a little bit of a luminous finish, but it's not overly dewy, it's not sweaty looking, and it's definitely controlled with powder. It wears throughout the day, probably better than any other tinted moisturizer that I have. And I do like the fact that this doesn't have SPF. Does it matter if foundations have SPF? No, I always wear one underneath, but I feel like a lot of times people that see an SPF in a foundation or a tinted moisturizer then think that they don't have to wear a separate one, and it's just not enough sun coverage. This one does not have an SPF. It's 1.7 fluid ounces. And again, it wears beautifully and for so long on the skin. I just haven't been as excited about a tinted moisturizer in a very long time. This is just heads and above all the rest right now. Now we're gonna go into my favorite cushion foundation. This one and the next one I'm gonna talk about really have the same type of coverage, which is gonna be more of what I would consider light coverage, maybe buildable to a light medium, but I don't find that it gets up to medium coverage. This is the Chantecaille Future Skin Cushion Foundation. Again, one that I have talked about recently in my full face of Chantecaille video. And this is a crossover from my last favorite liquid foundation video. Technically, yes, this is a liquid. It's just encased in a cushion. I wear the shade Nude, and I forgot to say I wear the shade Beige in this, but I will list all my shades below. I wear the shade Nude in this and the next one I'm gonna talk about are the 2 most blurring complexion products that I own. There's something about it that really just kind of filters out your pores, makes your skin look as flawless as it can, especially for a light coverage product. You almost feel like you're not putting anything on, and you really don't look like you have anything on, especially if you didn't want to set this. This does have, I would say, a little bit of a luminous finish. It's probably less luminous than the Jones Road on me. But again, I can control it with powder. And this one definitely is bulletproof. It has the least amount of product of the liquid versions that I'm gonna be talking about today because it does only have 0.42 ounces per cushion, but it comes with a refill cushion. So you're gonna get 0.84 ounces total. And it's simply gorgeous on the skin. It kind of does something that you can't quite explain until you try it for yourself, which could be said for the next product I'm going to talk about. This is the one I have on my face today, and this is the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Enhancing Tint. I've done a whole video on this. I've talked about it a lot. It has come up on my favorite liquid foundations. I believe it was in my top 3 of the entire 2024. This is the most liquidy of any of the foundations. It's more of a serum consistency. If you look at Lisa Eldridge explain how to use this, she says to use like 1 to 2 to 3 drops. That is absolutely not enough for me. I don't look like I have anything on my skin in that case. I probably use maybe 8 or 9 drops for my entire face, plus a few more for my neck. I am in the shade T7. It's such a gorgeous shade. It is such a gorgeous finish because just like the Chantecaille, it blurs your skin like nothing else. It is very, very, very lightweight, just like the Chantecaille. You don't look like you have anything on your face. You don't feel like you have anything on your face. They're both pretty much a natural luminous finish to me. I feel like I could, if I wanted to, wear this without powdering it, even though I love powdering my foundations. I haven't tried this one without powder because I just feel like I kind of need a little bit of that for this. But again, it wears all day. You really have to look close in the mirror to feel like you can see any makeup on the skin. And if you're someone who likes something very lightweight, not overly makeup-like on the skin with a light coverage, this is fabulous. And it is, I think, less than half the price of this. And you do get a full 1 fluid ounce. Now we're going to talk about the last liquid foundation in the lineup. And this is probably my favorite medium coverage foundation. I'm not going to get full coverage out of this. And that's fine because that's not really my favorite coverage anyways. I do love a light to medium coverage product. And this is stupid expensive, y'all, but I would be lying again if I didn't say how much I loved it. It's the Chanel Sublimage Essence de Teint. I have tried the Sublimage in the pot. I did not like it. Now, granted, it's been years since I've tried it, but I do remember not liking it. This one though, there's just something special. At least on my skin, it's just such a natural skin finish, not heavy. It is heavier than some of the other ones that I've talked about because it provides a higher coverage. I would say out of all the ones that I'm going to talk about, maybe except for the next one, it's the most bulletproof. I mean, I could wear it for 18 hours and it would not look any different than it did when I first applied it. It's very, very flattering on my skin. One of the most flattering foundations, which is why I love it so much. And it is more coverage than the ones I've talked about. So if you're wanting something medium, maybe check that out. If it's in your budget, if it's not, I totally get it. Because again, it's stupid expensive, but it is my favorite Chanel complexion product. And then finally, I'm gonna talk about my current favorite powder foundation. I know y'all are thinking I'm gonna say Jane Iredale. I am not. Do I dislike Jane Iredale? No, it's still one of my very favorites. But this one, ever since I have tried it, and I believe it was reformulated, especially for this season, has just been a go-to for me. And it's the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Matte Powder Foundation. So this is what the packaging looks like. And this is the powder itself. I have the shade 3-in-1. I also just purchased 2-in-1 because I think once the winter rolls around, yes, I'm still gonna want to wear this despite it being a matte finish. And I think that color will work a little bit better for me. But this one, I like this color for the summer because I don't feel like I need to wear a bronzer when I wear this. So when I am wanting something very, very, very quick and easy, I will slap this on with some mascara and lip gloss and I'm good to go. I just feel very put together. One of the reasons I'm loving this so much, again, especially in the summer, is because it is bulletproof. I think it does claim to be water and sweat resistant, and I can tell you for a fact that on me, it most definitely is. I have had some very strenuous workouts with this on, and I always kind of blot my face with a paper towel and nothing transfers onto the paper towel. Nothing, not the top layer of powder, absolutely nothing. And it still looks the same afterwards as it did before. I have been in super, super, super hot situations where I have sweated and this does not budge. So if you're someone who has very oily skin or you live in a very humid climate like I do, and you want something that is really gonna hold up to that, this is gonna be great. It does have a matte finish, but it's not flat matte, and I find that it gets a little bit less matte throughout the day, but not enough to say that it becomes luminous, because it doesn't. It just has a very pretty velvety finish, which is my favorite in a powder foundation. So if you're someone who likes powder foundation and you need something that is absolutely not gonna go anywhere, this is gonna be something you wanna look into. So those are my top 5 favorite foundations at the moment. I will have everything listed and linked down below. And as always, I want to know what your favorite foundation is right now. If you had to pick your very top favorite, let me know down in the comments section. Thank y'all so much for watching. I will see you in my next video, and I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.